Welcome everyone to Sysco Canada's Virtual Kitchen. Yes, Michael Audet is back in the house. Michael, welcome back.
Thank you, Jay, for having me.
So what are we talking about today, Michael, when it comes to marketing and social media? Hashtags, I think.
Yeah, well, Jay, we've been talking a lot about social media and breaking it up into its smaller parts. And when we talked a couple episodes ago, when we talked about the Instagram algorithm, I talked about hashtags. I didn't go super in depth into it, but I thought I glossed on a couple of things. But since then, I've had a couple of people reach out and ask a little bit about more about the strategy and how do you create it, how do you manage it, put it together. So I thought for today's episode, we can talk a little bit more about hashtags and take a little bit of a deeper dive into the strategy aspect.
Would you say, Michael, that a lot of people just, like I was saying to you earlier, just kind of started looking at other people doing hashtags and just started doing them themselves without any rhyme or reason, or really knowing what they're doing?
Yeah, I think that everybody knows that they're important. I see a lot of uses of them in a variety of different ways. I think sometimes it's a case of spray and pray. I'll put a bunch in there, and I'll see if they work. They might work, they might not work. But for a business, I think that you need to have your strategy has to have a little bit of consistency, and you have to use them over a long period of time before you really get to, are able to see some of those results and getting pushed up into the explore feed and Instagram is essentially where you want to get it to. And then we know that the explore feed, or people are seeing your content via hashtags and not because they necessarily.
It is what they do. Like, what does a hashtag do? Or do you want to get right into it?
Yeah, let's jump in. So let me flip over my camera, my screen, and let's just do a quick recap on, what is a hashtag. And simply, hashtags are used to categorize content and make it easy for people to bring specific content into their feed. And then the secondary piece is getting your content into the explore feed so that people who aren't currently following you can become a follower and or see your content. A question we often get: how many hashtags can or should I use? And we talked about this before. You can use up to 30 hashtags. 10 or 12 might be a good place to start if you're really not knowing. But in the strategy that I'm going to show you in a little bit, I do use a little bit more than 10 to 12 in some instances, but it is specific. And then, how do you do your hashtag research? You're going to go into the Instagram app, you're going to tap on the magnifying glass. You're going to type in some letters or the word that you want to use for your hashtag, and then hit the tags tab. And Instagram will then produce a list. Well, it'll find the hashtag that you're searching, but it will also bring up a number of like hashtags as well. And below that, there is a number. And that number is how many instances or how many times that particular hashtag has been used. And, there's a little bit of good and bad with that. In some cases, having a hashtag with many views can be good, but knowing too that there's a lot of people viewing that particular hashtag. So having your content pushed with it can and cannot help. Smaller, more specific hashtags can certainly help as well with pushing your content. Because it is that in that specific nature, if people are searching for that specifically, you're likely to be near the top when it comes up. So when we talked about creating that specific hashtag strategy, and especially for a restaurant or anything in food service, would be to break your strategy up into specific areas reflecting your business, or categories, if you would. And we talked about breaking it up into your brand identity, which can be things like logos, signage, the interior of your business, the exterior, people dining in your restaurant, employees, lifestyle, all those things that make your business and your brand unique. Next up, we have the food. So breaking into specific menu segments, your burgers and sandwiches, mains, appetizers, desserts, soups, um, the core of your menu. And then we have beverages. So you certainly want to be highlighting any beer, wine, cocktails, mocktails, spirits, those drinks that can be unique to your business. And you really want to be able to focus in as part of your overall Instagram and marketing strategy, because we know that piece of your business can be highly profitable, where sometimes your food cost on an item can be quite high, or maybe you have a loss leader. Your beverage is always going to be a profitable section of your menu. And then we talked about Valentine's Day, sports themes, date nights, so holidays and events. We also talked about community engagement, so engaging with a particular charity that reflects your business. It can be a fundraiser within industry, or you have a fundraising campaign within your business. And then lastly, partnerships. So brands, suppliers, relationships that you have. I know a lot of the local breweries will work with a lot of the local restaurants. So really tapping into those partnerships, and essentially trying to do there is leverage their social audience to engage with your brand and your audience, and making that reciprocal will certainly rank high on the engagement piece for the Instagram algorithm. Woo! So we covered off a lot on our quick recap. Do you have any questions, Jay?
I have a lot, but I think from a restaurateur's perspective, it's just like, why should I use them? How often do I use them? Is it going to help me build my social platform out to markets or people that I may have never touched before, and build my
Yeah,
brand up?
and it will help. It's it's not necessarily trial and error, but it is kind of like trial and error. Figuring out what's going to be the best and what's going to work for your business. Frequency, every time you post, you should be engaging with a hashtag strategy. And we'll talk about a few other tips and things that I have. But for now, let's jump into creating a solid hashtag strategy. And I'm going to reshare my screen in a second here. But what I've done was I've taken a fictitious place. I've made it up in my head. It's called the Shack, and the Shack specializes in burgers. They're located here in Vancouver. They're environmentally conscious. They only serve things in biodegradable takeaway containers. They're very in tune with organic products. But what I've done was I've thought about my hypothetical restaurant, and what I've done is I've gone in and created a hashtag strategy for it. So let me just come back here and we'll share my screen. We're going a little bit old school because this doesn't have to be a be all end all. You don't have to have files and folders created all over the place. It can be as simple as an Excel spreadsheet. So what I've done with my spreadsheet here is I've created a bunch of tabs on the bottom. First one being brand identity. We have one for food, beverage, events, community, and partners, exactly as I've broken it out. And starting out with brand identity, and for brand identity, I have 4 subcategories, which is our brand and our identity. Our staff is a big piece because for my business, I want to really be able to highlight my staff as the core of my business. And not only that, promote myself as an employer of choice and a great place to work. And then we have our customers. as well as our actual location and where we're located. And that's important too, because we certainly want to make sure that people know how to find us, and people can find you through hashtags.
Mm.
So let's start with our brand identity. And the first couple of lines, see if I can highlight them here. These first five lines, hashtag the Shack YVR, the Shack Vancouver, the Shack Shakes, because we also specialize in milkshakes. We also specialize in poutine. So those are some key hashtags. And what you're going to see is throughout my hashtag strategy, I have carried over a lot of these hashtags because I want them to be the core of all of my posts that I'm going to create socially. And I want to do this because, you know, the more I get them and the more consistency that I have, I know that these hashtags are going to work.
How do you know, Michael, if they work?
Yeah, there's a spot in Instagram. So if you're looking at your post, you can tap on your post, and then bottom left hand corner, there's a big blue button that says View Insights. And from there, you can tap on that, and it's going to bring up all of your analytics. And if you scroll down to the bottom, it will tell you what your impressions are, and then it will say from hashtags.
Oh,
So
okay.
from there, you can see how many times your post has been seen using those specific hashtags. Now, in percentage wise, it's a smaller percentage of your overall impressions, but it's those impressions that do count. And Instagram doesn't actually track how many times they push that into the explore feed. Again, where people can't,
Mhm.
um, or where people are not following you, are able to see your content as they're viewing that explore feed. So, continuing on here into our brand identity, I've included a bunch more tags, again, relating to my business and my overall concept. Things like organic beef, organic chicken, sustainably sourced, we compost, eat local, drink local. Um, and then as we move over, we can see our staff. So I've repeated some of those hashtags, but then I get into things like Best Burger YVR, the Shack Loyalty, Best Employees, Team Shack, our team, join us. All these little things will make a difference, especially when you're posting about your staff. And a little bit about your customers. It could be something as simple as customer appreciation. The Shack has a loyalty program. Uh, you know, Earn free food. Really creating that sense of our customers are important to us. And then into the location piece, because I think it's important that you promote where you're located, because that's how people are going to help find you. And we have things like drilling down into the specific neighborhood. So the Shack, Vancouver, our airport code, down into the neighborhood where we're located. So Kits or Kitsilano, Van City, tapping into a few other community style or other ancillary Instagram accounts. Vancouver is awesome, Curiosity Vancouver, and then Kitsilano, Kits Beach, those areas that are um, directly directly located towards my business. What do you think, Jay? Clear as mud so far?
So far. No, I think just some of the basic stuff. Obviously, when you're doing hashtags, no spaces.
No spaces. So just the hashtag, the word, and start typing it out. It will actually, if you put a space, um, it will stop actually working on that hashtag, and whatever you typed in will be what you typed in.
Is there a maximum size of a hashtag, Michael?
I don't think character-wise if there's a maximum size. Certainly, once you get over a number of combination of words or um, combinations of words and length, it can be borderline ridiculous. But the trick here is you want to keep it short and simple.
Okay. That's what I'm noticing on a lot of things when it comes to social media and marketing on social media is smaller is better. No.
Yeah, and like you could probably come up with 30 hashtags for every piece of your content that you're going to push out. The problem with the 30 hashtags is it's going to be much harder to analyze and or figure out which ones are working and which ones are not. And this is why I say for this particular strategy, stick with the core and have the core copy over to everything that you're doing, and then um, add on based on what that particular content is. So if we jump into burgers, um, I've got or food. For this particular one, I have 4 pieces of food. Of course, our shack, we're a burger place. We specialize in burgers. So we have our regular shack burger, our chicken burger, our plant-based burger, and we're also known for our poutines. So again, same thing, core hashtags copied over, and then some specific ones relating directly to those food items. So fresh beef, handmade, smash burger, potato bun, and then I copied over a few more other ones, again, related directly to the business. And you'll see that some have, 15, 16, 18, as it relates to my strategy. And then as I move over again to those specific and unique menu items, we copy things over and then we come to what makes it unique. When we get into our poutine, it's a classic poutine. We use hand cut fries. We use Kennebec potatoes. They're always fresh. Cheese curds, gravy, and Canadian poutine. Same thing when we get over to, again, our shakes. I have created here 4 shakes: our famous shack, our s'mores, our salted caramel, our bourbon milk punch. And I'd be lying to you right now, Jay, if I didn't say, I want a milkshake. I think I might have to go upstairs and make a milkshake after this.
We can order one in,
Right, but those specific and getting into, I've copied over the basics and then have drilled into what makes that particular item unique.
Is there
uh,
a time, Michael, like when you're posting your posts and stuff and you're adding your hashtags, no reference on a day that you would do more, or do you hashtag certain days when you are posting that?
no, I think hashtags every time you post for sure, and then your frequency and when you're going to post. Again, dig into your Instagram analytics to see when your audience is viewing your content. And the analytics tell you day and time. You just have to drill in and look. And then you can schedule this all through your scheduling app or applications. And you can, in some cases, you can set it and forget it, or you can be a little bit more involved and do it on the fly on your phone. And I'll tell you a little tip afterwards about doing it from your phone. And then, like I touched on, community partners or community. What are you doing? Do you have a specific charity or charities that you are tied to? For this one, I put the Kitsilano BIA or Business Improvement Association. They're involved with Kits Beach cleanup, and they're also involved with the Hospitality Foundation. And then partners, certainly any partners that you're partnering up with. That can be suppliers, it can be specific food items, it can be breweries or wineries that you're working with. here. Of course, I tagged Sysco Vancouver because we're the Shack's supplier of choice. And then some other local partners that we work with, Ernest Ice Cream, Faculty Brewing, Four Winds Brewing, and Okanagan Crush Pad as some of my partners.
Very cool.
So that, Jay, and I think that is, for the viewers, this is a great way for you to start and develop your hashtag strategy, and making it specific to your business. And I think, it's just like the food in your kitchen. When it's in the pass through to when it goes to the customer, you want it to look the same every single time.
Yeah.
And the consistency is important for your end users or your patrons or your customers, because they know what they're going to get. They understand what the value for the money is, and they understand what the product is and how they're going to get it, what it's going to taste like. And this is how you create this ever so important repeat business. Your hashtag strategy is exactly the same. You want to have consistency. You want to be able to take this and market it, and you want it to be the same so that when people do eventually type in and search for hashtag the shack, you want Instagram to bring your content forward, or it's going to be there for the hashtag anyways. But when they tap on the recent tab, they're going to see all these great posts of all this great food from your restaurant, and it's inviting people to come and dine with you.
Very cool.
What I do want to talk about next, and again, it's our top 5 hashtag tips, and they are relevancy. So making sure it's relevant to your business, making sure it's neat and tidy. So when you do utilize your hashtags, do it as a comment, and post your hashtags there, because it does count as an engagement in the overall Instagram algorithm. Speed, once you got it all set up here in your Excel sheet, you can drop those into the Notes app on your phone and do an easy copy, highlight, copy and paste, and it'll make things nice and easy for you so that you don't have to type all those hashtags out. Certainly creating connections and leveraging your influencers, and using their hashtags and their reach to help push your business. So there's lots of ways to do things. What I do want to talk about next is an interesting topic, and it's something that not a lot of people are talking about, but in all of my research and being studious about this subject matter of social media, and that is banned hashtags. Yes, Instagram will ban certain hashtags. And you probably intelligently think of a couple off of the top of your head that would be banned, and that would make complete sense. However, there are a lot of hashtags that can be somewhat innocuous in its nature, but they're banned anyways. And so let me talk about banned hashtags. So what is a banned hashtag? And simply, that is a hashtag that is reported by Instagram users for falling outside of Instagram's community guidelines. So when you sign up for your Instagram account, there's a terms and conditions that many agree to and don't read. Certainly as a business, you want to peruse what those terms and conditions are at any time, and you can find them on Instagram's website. But their community guidelines are important because other people who feel you may have used it inappropriately can report your Instagram account.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Jay.
No, I think that's interesting that there actually is people out there that it can't get crazy.
Yeah. And using them can, if you inadvertently use them, it can hurt your efforts to increase your overall growth. So Instagram will ban these hashtags from users, But in a lot of cases, there are a lot of bots and or spam accounts created that will use hashtags, and this is Instagram's way of um, cleaning up their overall accounts and or their community.
Oh wow.
So if you're wondering what happens if you use a banned hashtag, so essentially what will happen is your post won't be shown to your audience. Um, and in the case if you use too many banned hashtags, it can lead you to having your account either shadow banned or removed. In this instance, doing some research is always going to be key. And there are a number of blogs. All you need to do is open up the Google Oracle and type in banned hashtags, and a number of blogs will pop up that will give you a list of banned hashtags.
Oh
And
really?
again, I'm not going to pull it up on the screen. Certainly, our end users can go and look at what they are. Some of them quite obvious. Others very can be very unassuming. Um, and again, I'll let you look at the list of hashtags on your own to see. But certainly, my advice here is to do your homework and make sure that you're not using anything banned as part of your overall strategy.
Yeah, you don't want to get banned. I'm assuming you probably never get back in.
Yeah, and not that they're not going to. Instagram is interesting. They do monitor the activity, so you won't be banned right out of the gate because you use this hashtag one time. I can recall an instance where I personally commented on a post, and it was a business's post, and Instagram had flagged it for um, potentially being inappropriate.
Oh really?
Now, Instagram will also give you an option to click, and sorry, I'm going off of memory here, but
Mhm.
you can opt to have Instagram review your content and they can make a decision on it. And several hours, I did get a message through the Instagram app that my post was reviewed and that it did not go against the community guidelines and was in fact posted as a comment to that business's account.
Oh
So,
wow.
Instagram is looking. They do have a team of people that are monitoring these things. So certainly, my advice here is now that you have an awareness, certainly go and check out those blog posts, look at the list, and in most cases, it won't be anything that a business is going to use at any given time, but it's certainly there could be an instance that you could.
Cool.
There we go. My computer is beeping here because somebody's interacting with my Instagram content, and I'm getting a
Yeah,
message pop up. So that's my
it's all
apologies.
good.
That's what the beeping is for.
It's all good.
I'm not gonna lie to you, Jay. I turned it on. I haven't had time to figure out how to turn it off.
It's all good. It's all good.
I think that's it for me today. Unless you have any questions or comments that are popping up, I think this is some great information that our operators, restaurants, or anybody can use on a day to day. You don't have to overthink it, but you do have to put in the work. And here's some great tips, ideas, and resources to help you get from A to B in a shorter amount of time and start using it in your business on a day to day.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing we wanted to bring was just some really quick information around this subject that I think a lot of people just think they know, right? Like, and I'm in the same boat. I just, this hashtag sounds cool, or I'm
Yep.
used this because everyone else is using it, but no really rhyme or reason, or what can we get out of this, right? But I think it's very valuable as restaurateurs are, opening a business or getting back into the groove or planning what they're going to be like for the spring and summer. And we're all hoping it's going to be extremely busy. knowing what those hashtags are and what they do, I think is important. Very important.
Yeah, and like as an overall, marketing strategy, certainly if you contract your Instagram or your social media out to an agency, um, here's a great way to check who's doing your work for you. What
Mhm.
is what's the hashtag strategy that you're going to create for my business? How many times are you going to use it? All these clarifying questions to make sure that you're partnering up with the right person. I
Yep.
do see a comment from Steph from Schultze. Schultze, how you doing, buddy? I can't see you, but love your gram, and I look forward to being able to see you again one day soon.
Awesome. Well, Michael, always a pleasure. We'll be back in a few weeks more with Michael and more topics around social media and marketing for our restaurants. You're a ton of great information, Michael, and thank you again for being
Yeah,
on today.
if there's a subject matter out there that you want to know about for your business, certainly, please go ahead, drop me a line. My contact information is here on the screen, and I can help you with the research or reach out to somebody that I know in my network, and we'll bring that subject forward, and we'll bring it here onto the kitchen, and we'll talk about it.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, Michael. And everyone else will be back again tomorrow. We have Chef Michael Smith dropping by on our new show that's hosted by Kim Sutherland. Kim's going to be chatting with Michael Smith, Chef Michael Smith, on our show tomorrow. So it's going to be a great show tomorrow. And then we're back next week. Got a golf show coming up on products next week as well as April 1st. So lots of great stuff coming on the virtual kitchen. And thanks again, Michael, and to everyone else. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks very much for having me, Jay. Talk to you soon.